Okay, hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to do task 2. Now task 2, what I'm doing is I'm going to give you this picture, and it's a really great picture, good, nice, full, and as you'll notice I've got numbers, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, 5, 6, 7, all the way around, and I believe it goes all the way up to 16, no, 17. Okay, and then I will also have a sheet that looks like this. Okay, now again, we've looked at this picture and we knew that it goes from 1 to 17. So right here under the numbers column, I'm going to put 1 through 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, look at that. There is a perfect number of boxes for all 17. It's like I did that on purpose or something. Okay, so now that I have all 17 numbers in my number column, look, I've done a quarter of my project. Now I just got to keep going. So the directions say on the provided answer sheet, fill in the answer spaces with the requested information. Now, I will absolutely put this PDF up on OSS Connect, and you're welcome to download it and write all over it. You can use the paint option to do that, or you can print it off and write on it and then rescan it, or you can draw your own. This is just a table. I don't need to see the directions. I just need to see the table itself. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 by 18. So you can fill that out however you need. Okay, now in my directions for task 2, I say you only have to list the domain or the range. This is just whichever one you want. Okay, so the second column says sketch the graph. What I mean by label is you need to label the important points for this. Okay, some of these sketches are easier than others. So like here's one right here, very tip nozzle of my rocket. Okay, and I'm going to draw that. That is an upside down parabola. So that means I'll need at least 3 points. So it's an upside down parabola. It'll look like this. So my sketch is done, but I haven't labeled it. Labeling it is labeling the important points, okay? So the picture I have on OSS Connect, you can see the graphing grid a little bit better, but this right here is 16 up, and I didn't go left or right. So that means the point is 0, 16. Okay, so I'm gonna label it. And then down here, I am 1 up from 10, so this one would be 11 or up 11, right something. That means this one will be the same. Okay, and then this one I went right 1, 2, 3. I went 3 to the right, so it would be 3 to the right, and then 3 to the left. Okay, so I have all 3 of my points now. -3, 11, 3, 11. Okay, so all 3 of the important points are labeled for my upside down parabola, so I'm good, all set. Okay, now I need the equation or the domain and range. Now, I'm actually gonna do the domain and range first because it's very, very easy once I've labeled this. I just gonna go from left to right. So I go from -3 to 3, so that's what I'm gonna say my domain is. X is between 3 and -3. Done. Very simple. Okay, and then equation. Okay, well, this is a parabola. It's upside down parabola, so I know it's going to be a y equals. That's useful. I know where the vertex is, and I have the 2 points, but I kind of got to do some math for this one. I'll flip this over for some workable space. So the vertex form of a parabola, I'll put here. Okay, and it's y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, where the vertex is at hk. Okay, so I can actually fill in the majority of my equation. So y equals a times x. It didn't go left or right, so it's going to be 0 for h. I did go up 16, so it would be plus 16 out here. Okay, so all I need left is a, so I just pick another point. I'm gonna pick the 311 because squaring negatives, it can cause issues with some people, so I'll pick the one with no negatives. So it says 11 equals a times 3 minus 0 squared plus 16. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So now I have 11 equals 9a plus 16. So I just need a, so I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. So negative 5 equals 9a. And I just want a, so I'm going to divide by 9 to get my last variable done. So negative 5/9 is a. And that's all the parts I need. I have h, k, and a. Those are all variables that need to be filled in. So I'll just come over here to my equation. So it's negative 5/9 times x minus 0 squared plus 16. Now you don't actually have to write the minus 0, but I'm going to do it just because I had the room. Okay, so now let's go back. Now number 2 is also an upside down parabola, so I'm going to let you do that one on your own. Looking at number 3. Now, number 3 can look very confusing. Now, it is the vertical line from here to here, okay? It's the whole line. So all I need is a vertical line listed. Okay, lines only need 2 points. I need basically the end points, okay? Because everything else, all I have to do is lay a straight edge against it and draw, so that's pretty sweet. Luckily, I already have the top point because it connects with my other thing. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Not 2, this is 3. Not bad. Okay, so luckily I already have the top point. It's 311, right? Because it touches right here. The bottom point, I went down 12. Okay, so my x value will still be the same, but I went down 12. Okay, I believe it's 12. 10. Yes, it's 12. Okay, so from here, all I have to do is make the equation for this line. This is extremely simple because it's a horizontal line. All horizontal lines have the same equation, okay? Okay, and vertical lines have the same thing. Okay, so horizontal lines are always going to be a y equals. It's going to be y equals whatever the number is that's in the y section. Okay, the vertical lines are going to be just the other one. So it's going to be x equals h, where you have h and then some number. All right, so those are always going to be what those vertical lines and horizontal lines look like. So that makes my life very simple. This one is a vertical line, so it's going to be x equals, right? And then it's whatever its x value is. X value is 3. All right, now there's a problem here. It says the domain, do the domain or the range. Now, if I do the domain is always only going to be x equals 3, but that doesn't really tell me what I need to graph for this horizontal line. So instead, I'm going to do the range, which means I'm going to limit the y. Okay. And I'm going to go from bottom to top. So my bottom value is negative 12, and my top is 11. All right, number 3 is done. Okay, number 17 will be very similar. So I'm actually going to scroll down to 17 and draw it and label it. This is just in the negative 3 direction, so it'll be negative 3, 11, and negative 3, negative 12. Okay, that just made it pretty simple. Okay, so next I need another point. Let's try something else that could be challenging. I guess I'll go with 4, just so I could show you that one. I want you to notice that this is not the circle. Okay, this is 2 different things that are not the circle. I'm going to change that. Okay, so this is 13 and this is 14. So where you see 14, okay, I want you to mark it out. Okay, no 14. Come over here and cross out 14. I want you to label just 13. Make this the circle. All right, so now I'm gonna do 4, 8, and I'm gonna start 13. just because those are where I see that you may run into some trouble. So for number 4, having the endpoints is going to be super useful. So I'm going to find those. Okay, so the first endpoint, obviously it's over 3 because it hit my vertical line. And then I went up 3 also, so it's 3, 3. Okay, and then my other endpoint is at 5, and I went down 4. Okay, so I have my 2 endpoints, so all I need is the equation for this line, right? Oh, I should draw the line first. These don't have to perfectly match what it looks like over here. That's what the labeling is for. So again, it's 3, 3 at the top, and 5, -4 at the bottom. Okay, so this is a line, so I'm going to say y equals. Finding its domain or range is really simple. I'm just going to do the domain because the domain is usually easier. So I went from 3 to 5, right? So that's all I'll say. 3 to 5. Or you could have also told me the range for this one. You could have told me -4 to 3, but it's just easier to do the domain. So I need 2 bits of information for a line. All right, normal lines are y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so I need the slope and the y-intercept. Well, I have the points. Okay, so I can easily find the slope, right? Because the equation for slope is this, rise over run. So I'm gonna plug in my points. So it doesn't really matter which one I choose is the second and which one I choose is the first. But just so I don't get confused, I'm gonna write them here and I'm gonna label it. So I'm gonna say this is the first and this is the second. Okay, so now I have -4 minus 3 over 5 minus 3. Well, -4 minus 3 is -7 and 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, so I have my slope, which is -7/2. So I can actually fill that in. Now I just need b. Okay, well, an easy way to find b is to just plug in a point and the slope, and you can easily find b from there. So I'm gonna pick, these don't work out very well. All right, well, I'm gonna pick this one. Should I pick that one? Yes, I wanna pick that one. So -4 equals slope times the x value plus b. All right, well, to multiply a fraction and a whole number, you see what the whole number looks like as a fraction, multiply the top by the top and bottom by the bottom, so I get -4 equals -35 over 2. For me to be able to combine these fractions, they need to be common denominators, so I'm actually going to change this one while I'm at it. So instead of it saying 4, I'm going to say -8 over 2. So I'm going to add 35 over 2 to both sides, plus 35 over 2. So this one's gone here. So I have 35 minus 8, that's 27. Okay, so plus 27 over 2. It's plus because I have a positive 27 over 2. All right, and then there's number 4. And you'll just do something similar for every line throughout. So number 8 is an absolute value equation. So that makes our life just a little bit more challenging, but not by much. All I have to do is plot it. So absolute value equations will be listed. Y equals a times the absolute value of x minus h plus k, where hk is still the vertex. All right, well, lucky for me, I have quite a bit of information going on here. So I know I went down 12 to get to this vertex. So let me just draw this. Okay. So I went down 12 and I didn't move any from the x-axis. So it'd be 0, -12 is the vertex. My right endpoint, I went right 3, and I'm at negative 14. So 3, negative 14. And all absolute values are symmetric, so the right side would be negative 3, negative 14. Okay, be careful with your negatives. Make sure I can see them. Remember though, I will mark you wrong if I can't read it. So if your negatives become too hard for me to read, I'm just gonna mark them wrong and move on. All right, so again, I'm gonna do the domain next just because it's the easiest thing to do right after I've drawn the picture. I went from negative 3 to 3. Pretty simple. The equation will be a little bit harder. Okay, it's still y equals. Just going up and down. Go back over to my work. No, by the way, I don't need to see any of this work. Okay, I'm showing you how to do the work, but I don't need to see it. All I need you to submit for me is this table. Okay, and I need to be able to read it. So be very careful when you're scanning it. Okay, so my vertex is very simple. It's at 0, 12. So 0, negative 12, I'm sorry, is my vertex. So I'm gonna plug that in. So I get y equals a times x minus 0 minus 12, because I went down 12. Okay, so now all I need is a point to plug in so I can find a, just like I did with the parabola earlier. So let's try, it doesn't really matter because the absolute value is gonna fix this, but I'm gonna try the positive x, so negative 14 equals a times 3 minus 0 minus 12. Okay, 3 minus 0 is 0, and the absolute value, or 3 minus 0 is 3, and the absolute value of 3 is 3, so negative 14 equals 3a minus 12. Okay, so I'm gonna add 12 to both sides now to get the a term alone. So I have negative 2 equals 3a, and I want a alone, so I'm gonna divide by 3. So a equals negative 2/3. Okay, well I now have a, h, and k, so I can just fill them in. So negative 2/3 absolute value of x minus 0 minus 12. Again, you don't have to do the minus 0, but it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So now for the circle, okay, because that's the last type of equation that's listed on here, and I want to make sure you know how to do it. Okay, so for circles, wow, I'm running low on room. Okay, there's only two things you need to plot a circle. You need the center and you need the radius. So the circle equation looks like this. Where the center of your circle is HK and R is the radius. Okay, so all I need are those 2 points. So to graph my circle, I'll do all 4 points that they've got listed. Oh, wait, shoot. I'm in the wrong numbers here. This is number 8, so I'll redo it in number 8. Please be very careful about this. Don't make these silly mistakes that I've been making. Of putting these in the wrong slots because I'm not going to pay attention to that. Okay. Should I grab one of my bigger erasers? Oh well. Okay. Alrighty, so that's fixed. So the circle is down here at 13. So plotting it down here in 13. Okay, so very poor circle, but I get the gist. So the right side, what do I got? Okay, so I went over, wow. Okay, so from the center over 6. So left 6, down whatever for the center, but left 6 down 6, 7, 8, down 8. So left 6 down 8 for the top. So left 6 down 8, and then 2 more down to get to the bottom. So still left 6, but down 10. Okay, and then these are one to the right and one to the left, and it's at -9. Okay, so it becomes very easy for me to find the center based off of this and the radius. Well, my radius is very obvious because it's one to the right, one to the left, one up, one down. So my radius is 1, and my center is going to be directly between this -8 and the -10, so it's going to be at -9 for its y, and it's directly between the -7 and the -5, so it'd be -6 for its x. Okay, so please pay attention that there are already negatives in the equation. So x minus -6 is the same thing as +6. So x plus 6 squared plus y, and then again I have a -9. Y minus -9 is the same thing as plus. So plus 9 squared equals 1 squared. Well, what's 1 squared? 1 squared is 1. And you don't actually need to limit the domain and range for a circle because it's just going to start going around and around and around over itself. So you don't really need to limit the domain and range. So just, I'm going to put all reals just to make my life a little bit simpler. All right, so now you just need to keep going, work your way through, make sure that you've got the rest of them done. Now, just about everything else is just lines except for this part right here, which is the second upside down parabola. Please understand, if your A is not negative for your second upside down parabola, you did something wrong, right? If A is not negative, it's not upside down. All right, so go ahead and keep going through here, finish up the rest of them. After task 1 and task 2, you should have a good idea of what I expect for you to do. I want you to use these sorts of 2 columns in Desmos to create a picture like this. Okay, now they didn't use 8 different types of equations. They used 1, 2, 3, 4. They only used 5 because the circle. They used 5 different types of equations for this. So if you chose something similar and you needed more, then I don't know, put a design on your rocket or something so you can get like roots and things like that. But just let me know if you have any questions about this one. It's gonna be due next week because I wanted you guys to focus on your progress reports. So good luck. Try and make this as neat as possible. Remember, if I can't read it, you're gonna get it wrong. Just plain and simple. All right, I miss you guys, and I'll see you later.